Hi everyone! Today I want to show you a card made with a new stamp set called Parcels and Petals. Now you can understand why it's called Petals. It's got some flower images, but the parcels is because of the die set that goes with it. And it has a box. And I'm just going to touch on the box briefly so you can see what it's together in the bundle in case you're interested in the bundle. When you buy things in a bundle, you save 10%, so it's kind of nice to know what comes together so you can decide if you want to add on those dies for a good savings. Anyway, I want to touch on the bundle real quick so you can see what's in it, but I think that the box is going to require a separate video, so it's not too long. So I'm just going to show you the box quickly. Here it is. It makes what I call a fudge box, like when you go to a nice chocolate shop and they make homemade fudge right there, and they come in these little boxes that open this way, and so that's what I'm calling it. And this is the size that it makes if you just use the standard die. You cut out two of these and you've got one half in the other, but there is a way to make it longer. I don't know a way to make it taller, but this is the way to make it longer, and I'll do a video on the box itself at a later date. So it's real cute. I'm just going to show you how it opens. So it tucks in on the side, and then it opens like this. So then to close it, you just tuck it back under. So that's it. And it's a really fun little box. I like it a lot. And I love boxes because I do a lot of favors for school projects and Girl Scouts and teachers and church and all kinds of party favors, so I love little boxes. Anyway, that's the dies, and there's also a lot of really nice tags. There's two different label kind of dies, great for sentiments. A tag topper, which I used in the box. I used it on both boxes as a tag topper, but I also used it on this card as a belly band. So you've got that nice little piece here. You've got some little accent pieces I haven't used yet, but this one is stitching and this one has some eyelets. Speaking of eyelets, this one's kind of a floating one. You can put it anywhere on the card, so maybe you want to have a little peekaboo eyelet in the corner here. That would be really cute, where you can put it in the white but see the blue underneath. That would be nice. I did something like that on this tag. So the dies for this are really fun. Here's a lacy one like this, and then there's a solid image that you can put behind it in case you wanted to do some layering, like so. So the dies are really fun, and I think a great addition to your collection, particularly like these. And I love the little stitching, and these are all they're all great. Whether you're a box person or not, the dies are fantastic. So that's the dies. And then here's the stamp set. It's great for many reasons. You've got a birthday cheer, so you always need birthdays. That's something that I think is universally needed all the time, with a nice size and a nice font, and then a thank you. There's also a you did it. That would be good for graduation or any kind of congratulations. You're the best. This is nice. Somebody loves you lots and lots. A little something would be nice on the little chocolate box, and to and from. So it's a really great stamp set, very versatile. And the main image here, these petals, are what I'm going to focus on for this. Now they have a watercolor look to them, so my mind went right to watercolor imagery, and I wanted to do something where it looks really blurred out. So that's what I'm doing here. And I'm going to show you how to get that look simply with the stamps. So we're going to stamp on shimmery white cardstock, and we're doing that because shimmery white cardstock has like a coating on it that has that shimmer, but it lets it withstand water techniques, which is great. That's why I use a lot of shimmery white cardstock. So this we're going to spray it with spritz. It's going to get pretty wet, so you can't use Whisper White or Very Vanilla. You could also use watercolor paper for this. That would be a good option. I like shimmery white because it's smooth surface and doesn't have a lot of bumpiness to it, but both of those papers, watercolor paper or shimmery white cardstock, would be perfect. Okay, I'm using terracotta tile. And this is 2.5 by 3.5, and I'm just going to ink it up. Okay, now when it's inked, it dries pretty quickly. You can't go straight to the green. If you do, then you're not going to have any blurring of your terracotta. So I went ahead and sprayed it. Now you can spray this a ton or a little. On this one you can see I'm just going to do a little, and it's starting to blur, and that's about as much as I'm going to do with the terracotta blurring. You could go more. Now I'm going to add the Granny Apple Green. Now I've tried this both ways, where I've completely dried this paper, this cardstock, with my heat tool and then added the Granny Apple Green, but I found that you don't have to, because it's going to start to blur, and that's what we want anyway, right? Put 2 over there. I'm adding a little bit of the Granny Apple Green, and then I'm going to spritz it again. I love these little Stampin Spritzers. They're really inexpensive, but I think they're a great deal, and I think they're awesome to have around. I like to paint, so these are nice for getting my pan paint started to get them moist. Now I want this to dry quickly, and see how it's starting to curl. So what you can do is use your heat tool. You can let it dry and maybe put a block on the side to hold it down. It'll help it from curling, but if you use your heat tool, it'll dry fast, and it kind of helps it flatten out. I'm going to do it again just to show you one more time, and this time I think I might use even more water. And you know what, I've got enough water on here where I don't think I even need to add any more to it to blur that Granny Apple Green. All right, one more time. This time I'm going to spritz, dry completely, then do the Granny Apple Green and spritz again. Okay, here's our 3 different versions. They're always going to be different, which is kind of fun. And I think taking the time to dry in between colors gives you a more defined leaf pattern. But if you don't like that, like maybe you like it more blurred out, then don't bother drying after spritzing with the in between the terracotta tile and the Granny Apple Green. That's a fun look too. So they're all great. I'm going to use all 3 of them. And let's go ahead and make that card. Now for the base, I already stamped. Did I only stamp 2? Yep. All right, we'll have to make another one. What I did was I just went straight across. Now this stamp doesn't fit all the way across, so as you can see in the center, I overlapped it, and you can be very careful to not overlap them and use your Stamparatus or Stamp-A-Majig to get it perfect, but no one is going to see this, so I think it's perfectly fine to just stamp here, and that way I got a nice edge on the sides and let the mess be in the middle, and I didn't worry about it. So we're going to cover that right up. Now I cut out some of these little lacy bits to go on top and bottom, and then I cut out some pieces to mat my main image down. So this was 2.5 by 3.5, and then I went up 1/8 of an inch all the way around for my mat of navy, and then I went up another whole 1/4 inch there, so I have a tiny mat around the main image just to kind of throw some of that blue in there, and then a larger mat around the entire thing. Now when you use the watering, like water type techniques, the paper gets a little bit bumpy, so I use more adhesive than I normally would. Let me get rid of this wet pad. It's a nice thing about these. I love that I can just whisk it away, and now I have a nice clean one. I usually actually save those, and then next time I do something watery and messy, I get it I bring it back to the front. Okay, so I used a little more adhesive than I normally do because I want it to lay nice and flat. Now, when I wanted to put down my lacy top, I wanted to know where exactly I wanted it to fall because I don't want to cover it up completely. So how I did that was I took the piece that's going to be in the center and I laid it down next to where it's going to go, so I knew how high it was. And then I used my snail and did a strip of adhesive. And then I cut this in half. Because, you know what, it's going to be hidden anyway, so why not? I just wanted a little bit of texture poking out from the top. Okay, to finish off the card, I wanted to add just a little bit of ribbony type texture and some pearls. So to get the linen thread on there, what I like to do, oh, and I used some new ribbon too. Look at this pretty new ribbon. It's the terracotta tile, and I just used a tiny little strip of it. I laid down a bunch of adhesive, and then I start adding my linen thread. Now, it used to come on these little spools and you'd get these little kinks in it, so you just run your fingernail over that kink if you still have it on these paper squared off spools. Now they come on nice round spools so they don't get those kinks. So I like to lay down adhesive and then kind of controlled random put down some of the thread. And then I've already made my thank you, also with the dies straight from that Parcels and Petals collection. There. And some pearls. I'm going to use my Take Your Pick tool. Have you gotten this yet? It's a wonderful addition to the Stampin' Up tool selection. And you can do rhinestones here or pearls. For the inside, I took a couple stamps also from that kit. So I've got thank you on the outside, and then I'm going to put you're the best on the inside. So if you're a previous customer, you've already got a catalog coming to you if you've ordered in the last 6 months, and I've got them already ordered and sent out, so you should be starting to see those in your mailbox soon if you're one of my faraway customers. If you're local to me, you're going to pick it up at the next event. I have a card buffet coming up, and oh, I have a big event coming up in June. I'm having a big new catalog kickoff with retirement stamps, BOGO. And if you're far away and you wish you could take part of the BOGO buy one get one, I'm going to do that online too. I'm going to do it online after my local customers have gone through. To do them at the same time would just be a little hectic because someone might buy what you were looking at, and it's hard to kind of hold things. So that's the inside, and it kind of ties this little flower from the outside to the inside. You can find details about my BOGO event on my blog starting in June, and buy something new from the new catalog and choose from my retiring product list for free. So that's a good sale. And also take a look at the current retirement list, because there are a lot of bundles that are retiring that are awesome, but also there are bundles that are staying, but they won't be bundled anymore. When Stampin' Up! Bundles items for 10% discount, they only do that in the catalog year in which they were launched. So some of the items from last year's catalog that are really great bundles are not going to be bundled. So if you're holding off on the Cake Builder Punch bundle or the Butterfly Duo bundle because you think, oh, they're going to be in the next catalog, I can wait on those. Don't wait on them, because if you get them now, they're going to be 10% off. And there are tons of bundles that are going to not be 10% off anymore that are staying, like the Rooted in Nature, and man, off the top of my head I can't think of them, but they're awesome. So take a look at what's going and save 10% by getting it today, and then come back in June and take a look at all the new stuff. So thanks so much for watching. Check out my blog for those specials and deals and all that great stuff at bethspapercuts.com. I hope that you'll subscribe to my channel and find me on Facebook and just connect with me in any way that we can. I love to stamp and I love to share. Thanks so much for watching. Bye-bye.